It's Saturday, 9:30 a.m. and that means 12 more watches have landed at kibblewatches.co.uk. For those of you that are new here, my name is James. I run Kibble Watches here in Clerkenwell, London, and I'm very excited to bring a diverse range every single week, 9:30 a.m. to the website. Apologies for the glasses. With the amount of hours I'm putting in at the moment and the kids not sleeping very well, me and my eyes are very, very tired. So the glasses it is. And I want to say a huge thank you because obviously the last video was uploaded the day after the 10-year anniversary event. However, I record it in advance, so it was done before the event. So this is the first video I've done since the event and it went incredibly well. Thank you to every single person that turned out. It was about 60 plus people in the end who actually came, which was amazing. We did a giveaway of a watch and a couple of Rolex books, the Submariner books. It was such a good fun day, so thank you to every single person that turned out. We had a blast and I look forward to hopefully doing it again, and hopefully I overlaid a few photos on the screen just to show you a couple of clips of how it looked. It was really, really fun, and it was great to see so many faces. Obviously I knew pretty much every single person there, other than a couple of the plus ones, which it was great to meet, but it was great to see so many of these people get to meet each other for the first time, and already I've had so many messages of people saying, you know, I've been speaking to this person every day since, so that is great to see, and the Seiko just fell over, so we'll put that back. Anyway, before we crack on with the diverse selection on the table today, what's on wrist, I'm wearing an absolutely gorgeous Rolex Oyster Perpetual 34mm. This is the red grape dial, as they call it, which is a very nice sort of purple grape. It is lovely, 34mm as I say, so it's the reference 114200. It's actually a dial you don't see come up that often, and obviously colourful dials are quite in at the moment. This is one that may come for sale eventually. I'm trying to work out a few things because both me and my wife like this watch a lot. So we're trying to figure out if this is something we can keep, and it wouldn't be for the long term because we both have our old vintage Rolex. I have a silver dial 6694, she has a black dial 6694. Those are all pretty much only Rolex, and we said that would be the case. So maybe this will be something we enjoy for the summer and then maybe sell afterwards or something like that. So yeah, do let me know if you are interested because I suspect it is one that will be for sale eventually. But now that that's out of the way, let's crack on with the watches that you are here to see. As I say, 12 watches on the table. We've got Rolex, Panerai, Grand Seiko, Seiko, British brands with Fears and Pinion. There really is something for everyone, including a super affordable Citizen Eco Drive green dial, which is absolutely lovely for a bargain. So yeah, let's dive into the watches today. Now we're going to start off with the Rolex Cellini Prince. Now this is a watch that is impossible to photograph and video, so I apologize, and that's thanks to that heavily domed sapphire crystal or curved sapphire crystal with that beautiful dial pattern in black. The contrast is incredible. In person it's beautiful, but in videos and photos it's very hard to capture, so please do forgive me. But here it is, the Rolex Cellini Prince 18 karat rose gold with the open back. Now this watch was originally released, I believe, in 2005. Again, check our website for the full accurate details. Most of this is done off the cuff, but I believe it was 2005, and it would have been one of the first, if not the first, Rolex with an open case back. Now we've seen a few models in the past couple of years, and it's been a big hoorah, but it's quite amazing to see Rolex doing an open case back even back then on this model. So this is a reference 5442/5, and this particular example is from January 2018 with its box and paperwork, and we've just got it back from a very light polish to the gold. As always with these models, it is a very light polish. We don't want the polishes to go too hard at all. Now these models are inspired by the original doctor's watches from back in the day. So at the top you have your traditional time with your hours and minutes, and then at the bottom you have a very large sub-seconds. The reason for that, back in the day doctors would need to be able to, or as they do today, read someone's pulse, and it was very convenient to have the seconds extra large in a separate dial just to follow that to read someone's pulse. That's why they were called doctor's watches, so this is inspired by that. You have that pattern throughout the dial, the rose gold bars along the side just below the crystal. It is very attractive in that rectangular shape with the flanks on either side and a big Rolex signed crown at 3 o'clock. As I say, as you flip it over, you're presented with an exhibition or partial exhibition case back with a beautiful finishing, to be honest with you, with all the hallmarks present as you'd expect. And inside is a manually wound Rolex caliber 7040. Just compared on its original black Rolex strap with its large 18 karat rose gold buckle there as well, which has 4 hole adjustments on either side to be able to move in the strap and get a good fit rather than just cutting the strap, which is very nice to see. And I believe Rolex do offer different lengths of leather as well. Alternatively, you could obviously ask someone like the strap tailor to make a strap that would fit the case and also fit down to the buckle for your desired size as well. I'm sure you'd be able to do something like that. But let's go on to dimensions. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist. It is 26mm by 44mm lug to lug, only 11mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. So go check out this rare watch on the website today. Now we're on to a Rolex Datejust, but this isn't just any Datejust. As always, I try and get something a little bit different. This is the wonderful 36mm reference in the steel and gold two-tone with the fluted bezel, but it also has the fluted motif dial. So as you can see from that dial, it looks like the fluted bevel rivet edges, I should say, repeating itself throughout the dial. Very attractive, very nicely done, and just adds that little bit extra to the champagne colour of the dial. So this is a reference 126233, and the dial designation code is 0039. Inside beating away is an automatic Rolex caliber 3235, as you'd expect. Behind that closed case back, and you've got the polished sides, signed screw down Rolex crown at 3 o'clock, and the Jubilee bracelet, which is obviously in steel and gold with that nice folding clasp, which actually has the 5mm adjust on the underside that you can pop out to get that extra bit of nudge if you need it when wearing the watch in the hotter times. Yeah, you really can't go wrong with a reference like this. It's from November 2023 with its box and paperwork, priced at a bit over £10,000. Obviously, it's definitely up there, but still very reasonable compared to retail. And for this dial that is now discontinued, it is a absolute steal. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist at 36mm by 43mm lug to lug, the perfect size for a Datejust. 11mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lug, so endless options for this one. And I do think it looks surprisingly good on leather straps as well. It'd complement that dial beautifully, so go check this one out on the website today. Now onto a Panerai you do not see often, and I really like it. Do not get me wrong, it's a big watch at 45mm, but I think it's very attractive. So this is the Panerai Radiomere Black Seal Ceramic in 45mm, as I said. Specifically, it's the PAM 00292. So what you're looking at is a jet black dial, which is a sandwich dial, so you have the lume underneath as you'd expect, sub-seconds over at 9 o'clock, and those sword hands. It is very dark, very hard to photograph, but it is incredibly legible in person because of the contrast. You have a black ceramic case, black ceramic crown, and black ceramic hardware on this Velcro style strap, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then we come on to the case back. The case back is actually stainless steel black coated, so therefore it has got scratches and marks, as you can see. And inside there is a manually wound Panerai caliber OPX1 or OP11, which is a manually wound movement with a very good power reserve, kind of based on the ETA Unitas movements, but again, you can read more about that on the website. Because it is a radiomere, you have the wire lug system, which is screwed into the case itself, so you have to unscrew those to remove the strap, and the straps are 26mm on this one, and this comes on a Panerai strap I've never seen, which is a Velcro strap that folds through this sort of keeper, which is very comfortable once you get the right size and fit to your wrist, and just, again, it goes really well with the stealth look of this watch in all black. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist, 45mm by 49mm lug to lug. So even for a big watch at 45mm at 49mm lug to lug, it's quite short for the size, so it wears surprisingly well. Only 13mm on the thickness and 26mm on the lugs. So go check this one out on the website today. Now let's go on to Grand Seikko, and we have this awesome Grand Seikko, a model and a exact reference I have sold a few times in the past. And it is the Grand Seikko Elegance Power Reserve 39mm, which actually has the manually wound Grand Seikko caliber 9S63 in. So it is mechanical as opposed to spring drive. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's nice to be able to get a mechanical Grand Seikko at an affordable price, which these references are. And this is the SBGK 007G from October 2020 with its box and paperwork. You can see you've got that really nice silver dial, very monochromatic and very easy to pair with pretty much anything. Sub-seconds at 9 o'clock, power reserve at 3 o'clock, which is actually quite handy to have on a manually wound watch. GS logo stated at 12, and that is it. Super simple design and beautifully executed with the Zaratsu finishing on the hands and the indices. Then we come to the highly polished case, which again is very attractive with nice slopes down the side and brushed on the side as well, with a signed crown at 3 o'clock. And then we flip it over and you can see the exhibition case back with the movement we just mentioned, which is a surprisingly attractive movement. You know, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but at the end of the day, for the price and the quality, it is very, very good. And these can be had for under £4,000 quite easily, as you will see on our website. Just compared on its Grand Seiko strap with its folding deployant buckle there, you can see, which has the old typeface for Grand Seiko on the buckle itself. I'm a big fan of that, and I think it looks very, very attractive. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist at 39mm by 43.5mm lug to lug. So it's pretty much like a cushion case in terms of its shape. 11.5mm on the thickness and 19mm on the lugs. So go check out this awesome watch on the website today. Then next we're on to a larger Seiko limited edition. It's definitely in the higher grade of Seiko, so it's not in like the entry level. I think retail on this is something quite high, and the price we got at as an absolute steal. But this is the Seiko Prospex Speed Timer Panda 1972 reinterpretation, specifically the reference SRQ047J1. Now, just to get something off the bat, this is a automatic chronograph. It is not quartz or mecha quartz, and that is why the price is definitely more up there compared to the traditional models. So the dial, you have this really wonderful silver sort of slate finish across the board with the contrasting grey-black subdials, which has a grey outer tachymeter scale on the inside as well. The contrast on it is wonderful. Date over there at 4:30, and then you've got this nice polished bezel with the brush sides and polished bevels throughout as well. So a crown at 3 o'clock and pump pushers at 2 and 4 as you'd expect. And as you flip it over, you're presented with a signed screw-down case back. This actually still has the sticker on it. And inside is the automatic Seiko caliber R448. So quite a high-grade automatic chronograph movement from Seiko. Now, it is on the thicker side, and we'll get to that and the dimensions, but it still wears surprisingly well considering the size. Now, this one's from January 2025 with its box and paperwork, and it comes paired on its original Seiko sort of blade, or I believe they call it a blade bracelet. Really, really nicely done, where you have the sort of thinner polished parts going through with the wider brush parts. Very attractive. Push fold clasp, and the links are quite small with half links as well, so you can get a very comfortable size, as you can see. And that is pretty much it. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions, because this, for a big watch, is very, very comfortable. At 42mm by 49.5mm lug to lug, 14.5mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So endless options for this one, and it would look good on a leather strap as well. So pick yourself up a bargain with this one. And now we come on to two Fears watches, and we're going to start with probably one of my favorite modern Fears watches in the Brunswick 38 range, and this is the Brunswick 38 Topper Sector Dial limited edition of just 40 pieces total. So this is a collaboration between Fears and Topper in the US, which are a retailer, and they've done a couple of limited editions with them, and they've all been fantastic, but this is definitely my favorite. So this is the reference BS23800B, and powering this watch behind a closed signed case back is a manually wound Le Joux Perret caliber D100. So let's get onto the dial. You have that really wonderful sector dial with the white and the grey, applied numerals and indices, sub-seconds down at 6 o'clock, and a crosshair through the inner section of the dial with a nice minutes track around the outside, and hollowed out syringe hands. As always, Fears know how to do a design, and this is very, very attractive. As I say, one of my favourites, to be honest. Polished bezel, brush tops on the case, and then we come to polished sides as well with those. With this cushion case, very attractive in 38mm. You have a signed crown at 3 o'clock, and as I say, as you flip it over, you've got a signed Fears and Topper limited edition with the crosshair through on the case back with the number out of 40 stated proudly right there. This one is from July 2024 with its box and paperwork, and comes paired on a very attractive and very comfortable Fears leather strap with a signed buckle. As you can see there, it's a black leather, so again the contrast works wonderfully, but because of the white and the grey, you really could play around and pretty much pair it with whatever you think would work, because it's going to be very versatile. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist at 38mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 12mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. I'm a big fan of the 40mm, but I think the 38 just looks better on my wrist personally, and would be my choice. So go check this one out on the website today. And now on to a very special Fears. This is the Purple Dial Fears Brunswick Jubilee Edition in royal purple. This was made to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and it was obviously done in 2022, and they cut production short when the Queen passed away. So any existing orders that were already placed by the time she had passed away, that was all that was made basically. So it wasn't a full run as they were going to do, and they were all numbered as well. So this is actually number 7, so a very early number, and you can see on the case back, as we quickly get to that, you can see 1952 proudly stated right there with 2022 on the opposite side. So 70 years Jubilee edition. Sorry, I think I said Platinum edition, I meant Jubilee, my apologies. So this is the reference BS23800A with that striking royal purple dial with the applied numerals around the outside, sub-seconds down there at 6 o'clock, and syringe hollowed out hands. Very, very attractive and surprisingly versatile with that purple dial. You know, I'm wearing the Rolex right now with the red grape, as they call it, and it's a far deeper purple on this Fears than obviously the red grape, and it works beautifully. As we flip it around, you've obviously got that signed screw down case back that we just spoke about, but inside is a manually wound ETA caliber 7001 based on the old Pesses, crown at 3 o'clock with that onion style and just the attractive Fears cases we've come to expect, and it comes paired on a royal purple Fears leather strap with a signed buckle as well. Now this one's from May 2022 with its box and paperwork ready to go. And here it is on my 7-inch wrist, same proportions as before, and perfect proportions at 38mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 12mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lug. So pick up this little piece of British history in terms of our royal family, but also the watches themselves with the brand Fears. So go check this one out on the website today. Now on to a Tudor Black Bay ETA Smiley. I've had a few of these come through recently, and I'm always happy to take them when I can get them because the production run on these was quite short, and they have definitely become more collectible, and I still think they're fantastic watches. You know, as I've said before, I remember working retail when these were discontinued, and we had them at a large discount in the windows to try and get rid of them. Because we assumed that the in-house movements would be far more popular, and the reality is there is a huge amount of people who still really love these and think the ETA is just as good, if not easier, to obviously maintain and preserve, which is definitely true. So here it is. This is the reference 79220N with that black dial and black bezel. You've got the gilt on the inside and the smiley face text, which is what indicates it is an ETA movement inside. We come on to the classic Black Bay case with the brush tops and polished sides, and the signed screw down crown with the Tudor rose proudly stated in there, which you also have on the dial rather than the shield, which again I'm a big fan of. As we flip it around, you're presented with a screw down case back, and beating away inside is the automatic ETA caliber 2824, an absolute workhorse that's been used for many years, super easy to service and maintain. It's paired on its original Tudor bracelet, so this is pre-rivet, as you can see, with just the standard screws, again something a lot of people prefer, and you've got your classic folding clasp with 3 adjustments on there to get a perfect fit, so you really can't go wrong with this one at all. And it's from February 2016 with its box and paperwork and fresh from a very light polish, ready to go. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist. You can see size wise it is 41mm by 50mm lug to lug, only 12mm on the thickness and 22mm on the lugs, so do not hesitate to snap this one up today whilst you still can for, in my opinion, a fairly reasonable price, so go check it out. Next up we have another British brand, and this is Pinion, and as a lot of you know, I enjoy Pinion. I actually have a red Neutron from them, which was a limited edition. Fantastic watches, and this is the Pinion Elapse 42mm anthracite grey chronograph. The dial on this is stunning. You've got that anthracite grey finish, which is a sort of slate finish throughout, with the faux patina throughout the indices and those iconic or bold sword hands, and you've got the inner ring, which is actually slanted upwards towards the crystal crane, really beautiful depth throughout. So yes, Pinion logo stated over there at 3 o'clock. We come to the case, it's all brushed pretty much with that nice edged bezel, and then you come to the crown, which is signed at 3 o'clock, and pump pushers as well. As we flip this one over, you can see an exhibition case back right there with a very large black grey colour pinion rotor, and the movement inside this is actually an ETA Valjoux automatic Valjoux caliber 7750. So a workhorse movement has been used for many years. This watch does have a date position, but it doesn't have a date on the dial, so do keep that in mind. And that's pretty much all you need to know. Limited production on these. This one does come on a very nice pinion strap, and it has multiple straps included in the parcel, in the box as well, so do check that out. And this one's from March 2025, so only a few months old, and has been lightly worn since then, so it comes with its box and paperwork. But here it is on my 7-inch wrist at 42mm by 50.5mm lug to lug, 14.5mm on the thickness, and 22mm on the lugs. It's certainly not a small watch, but it wears really nicely in my opinion. So get that my opinion? Terrible. Anyway, go check this one out on the website today. Now on to some vintage Seiko, and we're going to start with this wonderful 1974 Seiko World Time GMT automatic on its Seiko bracelet. These are brilliant. This is a reference 6117-6400, and you have that wonderful slightly linen-y texture grey dial on the inside with the indices, date, and a vibrant red GMT hand, which has a slight notch towards the end where it raises over the indices, because the indices are raised on the dial as well. Great attention to detail. You have a 24-hour scale in orange, and then you have your outer world time display, which actually rotates via the crown. So in the neutral position of the crown, you can rotate that around. Obviously this, well not obviously, but this watch predates manually winding an automatic watch, so you have to give it that little Seiko shuffle to get it going, and inside is the automatic Seiko caliber 6117. Now this watch dates to circa November 1974. It's in wonderful condition. It's a great example as well. Now as we flip this watch around, you can see presented with a really attractive H-link bracelet with the Seiko signed folding clasp. It does have a significant dent in the clasp, but it doesn't affect the integrity of the clasp at all. It's just something you can see there if you have a closer look. And then you've got the screw down case back with the reference serial, everything stated right there. But it also appears to have a mobile number, because it is 9 digits, as you can see there if you have a look on the website, and it's hand engraved. So this probably was someone's own personal watch, and they were never intending to sell it, and they put their number on the back just in case anything ever happened. That's the theory I've got there, but we'll never know, and that's for sure. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist at 40.5mm by 44.5mm lug to lug, so really nice cushion case on this one. 12.5mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. These do look fantastic on straps as well as this bracelet, so if the bracelet doesn't fit you, do not fret. A leather strap looks fantastic, or a nice rubber as well, so go check this one out on the website today. Now on to a incredibly rare Seiko, something you hardly ever see, and it is a Seiko Quartz Silver Wave Z Royal Oak, as they're often nicknamed because of the case shape and the sort of the bezel shape, as you can see with those notches. Very, very attractive dial on this one. It's got that sort of square dial, I guess you'd call it. You've got both English and kanji, I believe, on the date disc, which is a day and date over at 3 o'clock. Sword hands, applied indices, Seiko, and the Silver Wave logo down at, or the Seiko Quartz tuning fork logo down at 6 o'clock right there. Really nice polished bezel, really nice angular case, and the crown is a locking crown, meaning it's like a half turn to push in and lock, and then you pull it out to set the time and the date. They don't have the longest stems in the world, these, so do keep that in mind. You've got to make sure you're really in the positions you need to be in when using it. So this is a reference 7123-8060, and it dates to September 1988, so very early on this one. Is powered by a Quartz Seiko caliber 7123. Just compared on its original Seiko Quartz bracelet, which fits really nicely and has that very nice angular look as well. You can very much tell it's of its time, but in a very positive way. The crown, the case back is screw down as well, and these do look fantastic on straps as well. So we have I will be including a grey suede in with this one, as well as the bracelet. So again, do not worry if the bracelet doesn't fit or you can't get it fitted. There'll be a very nice strap included that you can wear it on. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist at 36.5mm by 43mm lug to lug, 9.5mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. So go check out this unique watch on the website today. And last but by no means least, we have this awesome Citizen Eco Drive green dial with the black bezel in 44mm. So as always, I try and have a couple of these very affordable watches come through to the website, and this is this week's one. So if you're after a workhorse that's going to survive any apocalypse, this is going to be the watch for you, and it still looks good, which is nice. So you've got that green dial, which has that slight sort of record texture to it, and it's slightly translucent because it is an eco drive. So what that means is it charges via the sun, via light, which is really, really cool, and it charges basically a big cell inside the watch to keep it going. So you don't have to really get batteries replaced. If anything, it's a cell replacement, which happens very, very rarely on these watches overall. This is a reference BN1054-01X. Inside, behind that closed screw down caseback, is a Eco Drive Citizen Caliber E168. And this one's from circa 2025 with its box and papers ready to go. Paired on its original Citizen black rubber strap, which has that ribbed effect, which as you dive with it, if it expands, it gives a bit more leeway. That's the whole point of those notches. It will never give a huge amount, but it will give a little bit, which is great. So as I say, if you're after a workhorse dive watch, beater that's going to survive anything you throw it, this is definitely the one to consider. And here it is on my 7-inch wrist, so even at 44mm, it only has 49mm lug to lug, so it wears really well on the wrist, 12mm on the thickness, and 20mm on the lugs. So go check this one out on the website today. So there you have it, 12 watches in this week's drop. As always, I look forward to hearing down below what is your favorite from this week. For me, it's going to be a competition between the Rolex Cellini and the Fears Topper. And the good thing is both could sit in a collection together very nicely, and that would make a great little two-piece collection right there. So do let me know what's your favorite and why. And I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday, where all being well, we're going to have some crazy cool pieces. As I say, I'm still working on a lot of vintage. There's going to be a couple, I believe, in next week's episode, as well as a Patek Philippe Nautilus 5726A, which is the annual calendar on a strap in steel. So yeah, heavy hitter for sure next Saturday, if it doesn't sell before then. But thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you all again next Saturday. Take care.